G'day everyone and welcome to The Crossover, your weekly Insight NBA show where we break down the week that is to be. And this week is to be week 23, the second last week of NBA action, regular season NBA action for the year. There's lots of movers and shakers to go about. I'll break it down. Shout out to Matrix. We usually do this show together, but to be fair, away on a family holiday, gastro hit and it wiped us all out like Mary bloody hell. So we couldn't do it last night. So I said I'd fly solo and get it done. And it's here with you to break down week 23. So shout out to him and shout out to you because hopefully you are in your semi-final or your championship week. How can you get that dub? I'll tell you straight up after.
Welcome to the Ultimate Super Coach and Fantasy Sports Show. You are now listening to the Insight Fantasy Sports Podcast.
Yes, you are indeed. And again, thank you very much for joining us for this crossover episode. I'm down here in regional New South Wales, Albury, the Albury-Wodonga border. It's a little bit New South Wales. It's a little bit Victorian, visiting the in-laws. It's a lot of fun, apart from that whole sickness and the gastro thing. But you know what was fun? Week 22, wasn't it? It was just a lot of fun with those cram days. And you'd think that there'd be no more high volume, low volume days. Well, you're wrong. They're coming back again this week. Take a look at this bad boy. The last part of your week is chaos with 12 and 13 games respectively. It starts up nice and easy, so we can look to attack early in this week with Monday being 6, Tuesday and Wednesday 9 respectively, 5 games Thursday, again 12 games, big bumper day on Friday. And if you thought 12 games wasn't enough, Sunday's got 13, but a nice, calm and easy 4 for streams on your Saturday. That's just 4 games. But that Friday at 12 and Sunday at 13 can absolutely throw you, which means my number one advice for this week, and straight off the rip, focus early, depending on how many ads you have. How many ads do you have in your league? Do you have 4, 5, 6, or 7? Generally is the I guess the default ads that you can have over the course of a week. So for me, I'm looking to attack early this week if I'm in week 23 and I'm playing out this. Now I'm in the championship week in most. 23 is tough. And I think this comes back to when do you end your leagues or talk to your commissioner about when the league should stop. I think week 21 is probably an ideal week for it to wrap. Week 22, it gets a little bit edgy. 2 years in a row, we've seen Larry Markkinen go down around this time. Guys start to get rested or come back after they've been dropped, and so you can get some value here and there with guys returning from injury. But by now, teams are starting to get down in shutdown mode. It gets a bit serious. And again, the Lowry incident has happened. Well, not incident, but he's gone down towards the latter part of this week. I think he missed the last 10 games of last season. So we're about on parity for that one for the Utah Jazz as well. And there is some juice in the Utah Jazz this week. Let's talk about them because they are one of only 4 teams that plays 3 games. That means 26 teams play 4 games this week. So there is plenty of options. Again, of course, there's going to be plenty of options when there's a 12 and 13 game day, but there's only 3 games for the Bulls, the Nuggets, the Spurs, and the Utah Jazz this week. So we're looking to make our ads with those guys if we need to, but we're not going to get maximum ads out of those. In fact, we can look at the back-to-backs to give us some guide and then also attack those low volume days. Now, our first set of back-to-backs, Monday, Tuesday, there's none. You got nothing to start off the week with on Monday and Tuesday. So you can add as necessary, look at your opponent and move from there. Tuesday, Wednesday, obviously with a lot of teams playing 4 games over this week, there's a lot of teams playing on a back-to-back on Tuesday and Wednesday. The Cavs, the Lakers, the Bucks, the T-Wolves, the Thunder, the Raps, and the Wizards all give it a go Tuesday, Wednesday, back-to-back. Next up after that one, we've got the Wednesday, Thursday for the Atlanta Hawks, and we'll talk about the Atlanta Hawks in some more depth very, very soon. Thursday, Friday, we've got the Mavs, the Warriors. We've got the Rockets, the Clips, the Heat, the Knicks, the Kings. And shout out to Malik Monk. He's gone down here. So if Keon Ellis is still on your waiver wire, look for him to get some more minutes in the wake of that one. I know he's been on and off wires lately. He is playing phenomenally well. We want to look to bring him in straight away. Friday and Saturday, we've got the Pistons and the Grizz. And Saturday, Sunday, the Nets, the Cavs, the Lakers, and the 76ers finish us off there. So this is the big hint, number one. Not big hint, but big tip I want to give to where we can have a bit of a let's squeeze some juice out of this one. Let's give this one. This is the squeeze of the week. This is the advice of the week. Of course, brought to you by our good friends, the Standard Squeeze. Use promo code INSIGHT15. As I said, I am away on a family holiday right now. I packed my 4-in-1. My missus had her 4-in-1 cup. We used it to bring our coffees and hot chocolates down during the course of the week. Put some my Bundaberg ginger beers in it as a cooler over the course of the weekend before the they worked a treat yesterday, by the way. Not sponsored or affiliated, but a Bundaberg ginger beer when you got gastro, $1 million. Try that one out if you can. But I put it in my 4-in-1 cup and I sat there merrily with it. And you can get 15% off if you use promo code INSIGHT15. So my advice is this, and it comes back to something that I've said a few times this year. Know your enemy. So where can you get your ads for the week, but where are they going to look to get theirs? What does their schedule look like? If you break down the schedule with your opponent, take a really good look at your opponent compared to yourself. Like, have a look here. You've got 12 and 13 respectively on Friday and Saturday. Can you make moves and they can't? Are they cuckolded? Are they can't do anything? But this is the thing you want to pay attention to. Who are they potentially going to drop to get an ad on the Saturday and on the Sunday? And if we look to the back end of that, those teams are the Nets, the Cavs, the Lakers, and the 76ers. Do you have room to move, or do they have room to move? Are the player that they're going to have to drop, are they a greater asset than what's on the wire? So this is where I'm leaning towards. Take the amount of ads you have and use a couple early on to put them in a bit of a panic situation, because you want to really have them over a barrel come that Friday. Because if you can have them over the barrel by Wednesday, Thursday a little bit, they're going to be panicking and they might not be out. They're going to have to be like, I can't drop anyone. These guys are all too good. And then they might want to make a move for a back-to-back, get a 2-for-1 squeeze out of it come Saturday and Sunday, sure. But if you can angle to put some pressure on your opponent by the Friday when that 12-game day is, that could be a really good shout. And I'm looking to do that throughout the course of my week. And this also comes back to, again, where are our low-volume days? We've got Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. So here, we've actually got the Atlanta Hawks. Now, I put asterisks on the first two guys. Before you say anything, Matty, you can't get Jalen Johnson or Onyeka Okongwu. You can, because I'm in a 20-man league and it's championship week and we're on our last day of it now. And Jalen Johnson was questionable, and people weren't touching him. So when it comes to semifinals and championship weeks, people do not want to stuff their season up by adding a guy who does not play. So this is where there's some juice. He's also been dropped 3% in Yahoo leagues. He's down to 80%, which means 10-man teams, he could be absolutely ripe for the picking, or he could just be sitting in some IR or IL spot for way too long by inactive guys who aren't playing in your season anymore. But he could just be out there. In fact, I looked and he's in a 12-man league of mine, and he's in another 12er as well. So I know in 3 leagues that I'm involved with, that Jalen Johnson has been sitting there. Onyeka Okongwu is available in all of them. In fact, Onyeka Okongwu is down to 40% owned, 49% owned across Yahoo leagues. So he is a viable target if he gets the call up this week and can return to action. He's a lot better than these other guys. That means Bruno Fernando, who we have on this list here, he'll take a bit of a ding, and Vitamin Vit. So the other guys you're looking for there are DeAndre Hunter, Garrison Matthews, as I said, Bruno Fernando, and Vitty Boy are the ones you want to look to. If you want to look for the back end of the week, the Thursday and Saturday, there's a few more options here to get some burnout of. So with the Nugs, there's Reggie Jackson, KCP, Peyton Watson, Christian Braun, Justin Holiday, and with the 76ers, Mo Bamba, Paul Reed, Kyle Lowry, and Cam Payne. And I have a bit of a strategy for that one as well. How many ads do you have? If you can use maybe 2 early and 2 later in the week, you could go the double-headed snake of Mo Bamba and Paul Reed, especially if you're looking to block to get in field goal percentage, rebounds, block shots. They get some steals, they chip in points. They're 2 very viable options. These guys you want to look for towards the end of the week, especially with that Thursday and Saturday. You can squeeze them both into your lineup, especially if you need some center stats, if the rebounds is in congested or block shots. That's the thing you want to do. You want to aim for those ones. So let's look to see where we can bring those in during the course of the week. That's going to be really important to see where we can get that juice. And again, the Thursday and Saturday, that gives us a nice little advantage over our opponent. Maybe you need steals. Maybe you're looking for KCP. Reggie Jackson is getting a whole lot of burn right now with Jamal Murray out. So he's going to be able to give you some assists, some points, some threes. Yes, turnovers, left, right, and center. but are you punting turnovers, or is it high between both of you in your week 23? Look for that right now, and let's make our moves suggested off that one, because that's how it's going to shape out for the course of the week. We're looking to maximize our ads on the days that we have the availability in our roster to do so. And then if you make that Thursday, Saturday double ad, you're in a really strong position. You don't have to worry so much about that high game volume Friday, because you've got your positions locked, especially if one of your guys isn't going to be playing on that Saturday in the first place. So you get that guy out of the way, and then you bring in 2 games for 1. And you look to bring in that value, because you might not have any. And who has he got? Who has she got? Who has your opponent got on Sunday? And if you look down their roster and they are completely chock-a-block, they're going to be really hesitant to add anyone. So this is where you want to make a couple of moves early and save those for the rest of the week. Let's have a look down through it, and let's do a bit of an injury update to see where we can also get some juice for the week based on the guys who are in and out of our lineups. Yes, we are indeed, or an adductor strain or anything like a sprained ankle. And I already mentioned over in Atlanta that Jalen Johnson and Onyeka Okongwu, now they're still like just ruled out, but they are coming back with their ankle and toe injuries, and we could possibly look for them to return this week. And again, where we can get them is on that Thursday and Saturday. Boston's looking nice and healthy, but they are well and truly in front in the Eastern Conference. So we're looking for their injury updates to add guys like Peyton Pritchard, Sam Hauser, Al Horford off the wire, apart from whenever they're rolling it back-to-back this week. We know Poku is questionable for Sunday's game due to illness. So if he is out, we can look to get some more minutes there for Grant Williams. He has been playing well of late, and we just look to see how long Poku could be on the sidelines. And I guess the big news from last week is that they finally decided to tell us that Lonzo Ball was out for the season, something we have basically known for 2 months now. He has not been coming back for a long time. Mark Williams, it's like they just don't want to tell us about Mark Williams. Where is he? Is he in the Maldives? The Maldives are wonderful this time of year, I hear. He could be anywhere right now. I know he's been on the sidelines here and there for some games, but there is no sign that he will make an imminent return anytime soon. Alex Caruso and Ayo Dosunmu, they are both out, or they're both questionable for Sunday's game. Now, the sprained ankle with Caruso does give me more of a reason for pause with the Caruso. So probably Dosunmu will play through the illness, but we know that illness has popped up as a reason for a lot of rest lately on. In Cleveland, Coro is questionable for Sunday, and Craig Porter is also probable through illness. Over in Dallas, Luka is questionable against the Rockets. He has a bit of a flare-up in the knee right now. In Denver, Jamal was questionable. He did not get the start today, so he got to sit out this one. So again, being questionable, where is he going to play this week? So this is where that Reggie Jackson ad, especially if he ends up resting for longer, is going to be a bit of an ad there. And Zeke Naji is still out over in there. Quentin Grimes is now being out officially for the season. With Detroit, he's barely played for them since being acquired by the New York Knicks. And we could probably look for him to be a bigger part of the rotation next year, because he was getting some minutes significantly with the Pistons when he came out initially. Klay Thompson and Kuminga are questionable for Sunday, and Dario Saric is out. So he could look maybe to return this week, but his minutes have been favored. Cam Whitmore is probable on Sunday, and that's a nice little ad for the Rockets. As we said, the Rockets have a back-to-back set, and Cam Whitmore coming back in with some fresh legs could be a nice little ad during the course of this week. All is good over with the Pacers and the Clippers, whereas the Lakers, we've got Gabe Vincent is questionable for this one versus the Nets. I don't even want to talk about LeBron James or Anthony Davis being questionable anymore, because they seem to carry that tag in each and every single game. Bain, Aldama, and Concha, they were all out on Saturday. They're going to come back in and out of their lineup for the Memphis Grizzlies consistently over there. Well, Trey Jamison was listed as inactive for that one. Where we can get some little bit of burn for this one is Scottie Pippen Jr. has been a nice ad, a source of assists and some steals. So just look for who's in and out. If you're in a daily head-to-head league and you can change before game time tip-off or even before game, look to see who the Grizzlies are bringing in and out. Again, they do have a back-to-back this week, as we saw, and we could look to bring in Pippen Jr. there, possibly for some assists and some steals. Returning for the Heat, we possibly have Tyler Hero. He's still out, but he could be back later in the week. But Duncan Robinson and Caleb Martin, Caleb Martin's going to miss Sunday's game. He could be back in this week, so we can look to continue to bring him. He's been a valuable streaming option for many punters this year. Well, in Milwaukee, Damian didn't play due to personal reasons on Saturday, and there's a chance as well. There's an outside chance he won't play Tuesday. Let's just look for a bit of a lineup decision on him beforehand. I know that he is on the can't cut list on many teams. Reach out to your commissioner and be like, hey, look, he's out. Can I do this? That's there so people don't drop the guy inaccurately, especially one of those high-end picks. So you might have to move on for him if he's not going to play on this one. We've got Edwards, Gobert, and McLaughlin are all questionable for Sunday's game against the Bulls. They have been questionable and played through all the last of the game, so I don't expect any changes there for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Jose Alvarado has missed the last 2 games, and that's a shame with an oblique strain because they had a really favorable schedule in week 22. And look, he's probably just going to rest a little bit more and come back. He has been very valuable for them and a pest. He's just a pest off the bench for the Pelicans. But good news for them is Dyson Daniels has returned, so another one of their defensive stalwarts has come back into the lineup. Questionable is Mitchell Robinson for the for the New York Knicks, and OG Anunoby and Julius Randle are still on the sidelines. There is rumor that Julius Randle could be back by the end of this week, or we can look for an update midweek on him. And if he's on your waiver wire and not an IL, you could probably swoop in to grab him for a game at the end of the week. Gary Harris and Jonathan Isaac didn't play on Saturday due to injury management. They can look to make a return this week, whereas all is smooth sailing in Philadelphia and in Phoenix. Portland, Matisse Thybulle, he went out of the game with an ankle injury. I think it was Friday that Matisse went out. So let's look for an update for him closer to this week to see if he can, a valuable source of steals there for him, some assists and some rebounds. Tamari Kamara has a fractured rib and he's going to miss the rest of the season. And he was a great streaming ad, which is giving up some more minutes there for Jabari Walker over in Portland. Malik Monk and Kevin Huerter, we both know, are pretty much done for the rest of the regular season, no longer viable. No longer viable fantasy options. Guys who are really going to get the bulk of the minutes here, you know De'Aaron Fox is going to go bonkers. You know Sabonis is going to go bonkers as well. Trey Lyles, Sasha Vesnikov is going to get some extra burn there as well. And I'd also be looking to see more minutes for Keon Ellis. He was already getting a substantial amount, and he will look to do so continually. Keldon Johnson and Jeremy Sohan, they were ruled out on Sunday with their foot injuries and ankle soreness, respectively. When it's an ankle and it's the end of the season and it's a tanking team like the San Antonio Spurs, let's look for a bit of an update from them during the course of the week. We all know Lauri Markkanen, as I said earlier, has been ruled out for the next 2 weeks, the regular season. That's his adductor strain has been re-injured, so he's out for this one. The Jazz aren't going to make the play-in, so you can say bye-bye to Lowry for the rest of the fantasy season. Clarkson's going to miss Sunday's game. He's got a sore back, and he's been out for a little while, whereas John Collins has been having back spasms. I touched on that earlier. How much does he play? Because he's been a revelation without Lauri Markkanen in lineups. How much does he play down the stretch? Bryce Sensabaugh and Taylor Hendricks, guys like this are going to be getting more burn around the edges. And in Washington, Tyus Jones is going to miss another game on Sunday with his back injury, where Kyle Kuzma and Rashawn Holmes are both questionable with heel and toe. Heel and toe step together. Bit of an old Aussie bush dance for you with the heel and toe poker there. They are out on the Sunday's games potentially. So let's look for them with their injured and their sorenesses. The Wizards aren't going anywhere. We don't have to rush that at all, but we can look to make them streams and options when we can. That wraps up our preview of week 23. Go out there and get that W. Make sure that you do all of the things and join our Discord channel, especially where you can ask the experts for NRL, AFL, NBL, NBA, and NBL and BBL during the course of the season. $25 only. Just $25 Australian. That's cheap as chips for the course of the entire year. Make sure you get your head around that one. Make sure you like and subscribe and do all the things below. Big shout out to our sponsors. Check them out below. We love you. Thanks for listening. We've got one more week after this of fantasy action. We've got 23 and 24 to get in the books. Again, turn your notifications on, hit that bell. Make sure you know when our videos are coming out to get you that win in week 23 and 24 and a W in your season. Take care, everyone.